Here are the 10 of the greatest quotes for success that include discipline, mindset, and everything that you can think of. Now, I'm gonna be as clear as I can and communicate in English and not in hieroglyphs. Despite me looking like Bruce Lee, don't worry, I won't talk about hieroglyphs like be like water. Because mate, water can't even breathe, so why would you wanna be water? So don't worry, this is gonna be clear and precise. And without further ado, let us begin and get on to the first one. And the first one is, the goal is you. The goal is you. Most people, they think that the goal is to be a millionaire or to be famous or to have all this success. But the goal is you. And once you become good enough, everything else will follow. It will be a byproduct of you becoming that good. And so what that allows you to do is reframe all the failures, all the losses. Someone looking from the outside might think, oh, he failed. That's bad. But in reality, it is the failures that usually grow us and make us better. And so when you change it from the goal is to be a millionaire, then a failure of losing money, that's bad. But when the goal is you, all of a sudden that failure that makes you grow, makes you learn, it is a lesson, it is a victory. Because you grew, you became better. And in a way, for you to get the things that you want, whether it be money or fame or success or whatever, it requires that you become good. And for you to become that good, you have to go through those failures. And so people who only see the materialistic goals of money, for example, they will never want to go through that failure. But they don't understand that that failure is necessary. And so the failure is actually an amazing thing that grows you and that makes you better. And so when you reframe it, from the goal is something outside you, the goal is you. All of a sudden, everything starts becoming a lesson. Everything that grows you becomes good, no matter how painful it is. And so always remember that the goal is you. And the number 2 one that I got for you today is that losers think in days and winners think in decades. Think about that. Most people, let's say you're going on a diet. You want to go on a diet and start going to the gym and get in amazing shape. Everyone will say after 2 days, there is no noticeable change. Haha. And so on. Because they're losers. They're thinking in days. Of course you're not going to see any results in 2 days of going to the gym. And 2 days of dieting. Or 2 days of running that business. But when you start thinking about, you know what? I'm gonna be on this planet Earth for probably the next 50 years. All of a sudden the next 2 days don't matter. What matters is the next 50 decades. 50 years. 5 decades. And all of a sudden when you start thinking like that, all of a sudden all these actions that you do, going to the gym, dieting, yes, you might not see any massive results in 2 days, or 2 weeks, or 2 months. But after a few years, you'll be a completely different person. And so when you change, you expand the time horizon. Instead of thinking, what is the best thing I can do for the next weekend? Go party. You start thinking, what is the best thing that I can do for the next 2 decades? And then it changes from partying to doing something impactful, something big, something great, something massive. And all of a sudden, that changes your actions. And now you're doing the things that actually will matter in a few years. And you will be thankful for them. And there's another quote that I kind of think is very similar to this, that I'm going to give you as a bonus. Given enough time, the optimist always wins. Think about that. So once again, the pessimist says, dieting is useless. You will never get in shape. And they're correct for the next few days. They're correct for the first 2 months. But given enough time, the person who believed in you, whether that be yourself or someone else, will be correct, because then the results start showing. So given enough time, the optimist always wins. Number 3, the pain ends once you stop caring. Think about that. Pain, it is simply a feeling. It is something that we feel. It is almost like an emotion within our heads. You cannot touch pain. You cannot see it. You can only see expressions of people who might be in pain, the same way that you can see expressions of joy. But in reality, it is simply a thing that exists within our heads. And because it exists in our heads, it can be controlled by us. And so what is really important is that all the pain that you feel, especially from like, oh, what's the opinion of others, or, what will others think, and, all these things, social pain, and even sometimes physical pain, in many times, it is in no way real. It is simply imagined by us. And the moment we disconnect ourselves, we say, you know what, I don't care, is the moment the pain goes away. And so the moment you stop caring about what others think, they can't hurt you. Their opinions, their words, they won't matter anymore. They have no impact on you, no control over you, because you stopped caring. So remember, the pain stops once you stop caring. Number 4, continuing on the line of other people. Your competition also feels the doubt and the struggle. They might hide it, they might not talk about it, but trust me, everyone else that you're competing against, whether you'll be running a marathon and you feel like your legs are about to give, everyone else feels that way, even if they don't show it. You might be running that business and you're looking at the other businesses and you're like, damn, how are they doing so well, and how does it seem like they will never give up, and they also have the doubts of what if it doesn't work out? What if the next ad campaign fails? What if it all goes down the drain? Everyone feels that. And so you can beat other people by outlasting them. Everyone feels the doubt, everyone feels the pain, everyone feels the struggle. So outlast everyone. And that's the guaranteed way to win, by not giving up. Because the point is to stay in the game. The point is not to get some quick success, quick win. Think about life, for example. What's the point of life? Well, it's probably to stay alive. It's not to run to the end point. Oh, let me get to the end point as fast as possible. No. The whole point is to stay in the game. So as long as you stay in the game and you don't give up, you are winning. And you will beat and outlast your competition. Number 5. This is one that I stole from one of the greatest people to ever step foot on this planet, from Alexander the Great. And the quote, and I try to get this right, but the quote goes like this: make your goals and ambitions large enough as to ignite a fire in your spirit, and with these held at the forefront of your mind, the temptations of petty distractions will be burned to ashes. What a great quote. What a great quote. But despite it being a great quote, it is also absolutely factually true, and it is being written in the fabric of the cosmos. And how do I know that? Well, when you have a goal that is big enough, that is so worthy, you will do it. You will gain infinite motivation. You will never feel like, oh, I don't want to do it. You will never give up. And you will always have the discipline to do it, because it's worth it. And so you have to have a big enough goal where it's worth suffering for, and then you will survive the struggle. If once again, let's look at you running a marathon. If at the end point of a marathon you are handed a chocolate bar, you're most likely gonna give up the moment it gets hard, because a chocolate bar is not worth suffering for. But if at the end point there is everything that you ever wanted, everything, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter how slow you have to go, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, you're gonna pick yourself back up and you're gonna get to that finish line. Because the end point is worthy. And so as long as you have an end point that is so worthy that it's worth suffering for even decades, all of a sudden you're willing to go through the pain. All of a sudden you're willing to do what it takes, no matter how hard it is. And so set a goal, set ambitions that are so big, so grand, so amazing that you are willing to suffer for them, and all of a sudden you will never lack motivation to do it. Because they're so big and worthy that even going through literal hell to get there is worthy. Number 6. If you're going to live in fear, why live at all? Why live at all? You know, fear is a choice. And you might not agree, you might be like, what do you mean? But fear is a choice. Just like we talked about before, about pain. It exists only in your head. And for a moment, think about a pink unicorn. Now, a pink unicorn is not very scary, now is it? But just imagine in your head a pink unicorn. Wow, a pink unicorn. Can you touch it? No. Is it in the outside world? No. So it is just something that exists only within your head. And the moment you are no longer conscious of it, it disappears. And the same is with fear. It exists only within your head. And the moment you are no longer conscious of it, it disappears. It cannot influence you. And if you're not gonna let a pink unicorn make decisions for you and dictate what you do with your life, then don't let fear. Because fear is just like a pink unicorn. It exists only in your head and it will go away the moment you are no longer conscious of it. And so fear is a choice, and don't live in fear. Don't let it make decisions for you. And if, for some reason, that fear still haunts you, the best way to get rid of it is to face it. Just face it. Number 7. If you are disliked or hated by bad people, that's only a good sign. I mean, think about it. A lot of people are like, oh, I want everyone to like me. I want everyone to like me. But why would you want evil people to like you? I mean, think about, what would that say about you? What would it say about you if evil people liked you? It would probably mean that you're evil. And so, if bad people and evil people dislike you, it means that you're good, you're righteous. And it probably just means that you're a good person. And so when you look around and you see all these people who might dislike you and they might hate you, if they're bad people, it probably is just because you're good. And so see it as a positive thing. Don't see it as a negative thing if people dislike you. Because inevitably, as long as you are a good person, the evil people will dislike you. And the perfect example is Jesus. I mean, can you point to the sin that Jesus did? Can you point to the faults of Jesus? Of course you cannot. Yet he was hated, he was persecuted, he was crucified. And so if Jesus was hated, then so will be you. You just gotta learn to live with it and accept that evil people and bad people are gonna hate you. And you know what? You should want them to hate you, because if they don't hate you and they like you, it probably means that you are evil. Number 8. The outcome you want is a number, but the outcome you need is a skill. And so what do I mean with that? Well, talking about, people have these goals of, I want fame, I want more likes on my social media pages, or I want more money. That's a number. But what in actuality you need is a skill. And so you want the numbers, but the numbers mean nothing. If you gain $1 million, you go and buy something, you lose the money. It's gone. You go and get the 1 million views on your video, amazing. But then you post the next one, you get nothing. So these numbers mean nothing. What in actuality you need is a skill to be able to replicate it over and over again. So most people, they're like, oh, I want the views, I want the money, I want this, I want that. But in actuality, you should want is a skill that you can use to do it again and again and again, over and over. And once again, we can go back to the fact that failures that make you grow and lessons that make you learn are not a bad thing. Because that's where you gain the skills that you need to then be able to replicate that success again and again. Number 9. When have you ever seen a yes man go far? Think about it. Imagine someone who says yes to everything. You know, that the stereotypical yes man, they cannot say no to anything. Have you ever seen them become successful? Have you ever seen them go anywhere far in life? Of course you haven't. Because to go far, you have to learn to say no. No to all the distractions, no to all the temptations, no to all the things that are taking away from that goal. And so a lot of people think that for you to be successful, you have to say yes a lot. But in actuality, you have to say no a lot. Because you have to say no to every other opportunity except the one that matters. Think about it. If you want to be a professional ice hockey player, well, you can't go and say yes to, you know what, I'm going to go to football practice and then I'm going to go to basketball practice and then I'm going to go to ice hockey practice, because you're simply going to lose to all the people who went to only ice hockey practice. Because you cannot generalize. You cannot do everything. You have to say no. You have to pick a sport, and it doesn't matter what it is. Basketball, football, ice hockey, all great options. But you have to pick one and say no to everything else. Otherwise, you will lose to everyone who specialized in just that one sport and who did say no to everything else. And so you have to learn to say no and learn to say it a lot. And finally, number 10. If you have only one life, then why not go all in? Why not put in all the work that you can? Why not use up all the energy that you have? Why not do everything that you can? Use every second of your life to do something. I mean, you got only one. So why not use it all? Why not go all in? I mean, why would you try to save some of your gifts and talents? And you know what, I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm gonna take a rest. I'm gonna save my energy for life 2.0. Doesn't make sense. There is no life 2.0. Use that energy now. Use that time now. Use your talents now. And you better use it. Because otherwise it's just gonna be gone when you are gone. You know, everything that you didn't use will die with you. Everything that you don't show to the world, all the talents that you don't show, all the gifts that you got that you don't show, they will die with you. And let me tell you, just start doing something. Use your time and energy on something. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions, because no one ever in the history of humanity had the perfect conditions. But they did it anyway. So just start. And as always, stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and have a fantastic day.